Bitcoin is testing 29K. We're going to look at that, and we're also going to look at some upcoming data that's going to be reported on. And we also recently got the jobs report. So we're going to see what's going on with all of that. I'm glad to be back. Sorry it's been a very long weekend for me. But in this video, I wanted to look over this economic data. I want to look over Bitcoin and look at what the general market's doing. We're going to go check out TradingView's heat map. And let's get started. Now, first off, looking at TradingView's heat map, I'll leave this down below for you because it's pretty cool. You get to see all the general stocks, what's going on, and you'll see that, for the most part, we are looking at a pretty red day. Large cap tech, Tesla, Apple, Google, Nvidia is actually doing good, but other than Nvidia, everything's a bit red. Anything that is large cap growth seems to be dropping today. And I think that's quite interesting because over in the crypto world, Bitcoin is starting to break out. And we may be breaking our previous resistance in the 29,000 area. So it looks like the general market is a little pessimistic as CPI approaches. And we did get our job data. We're going to look at what happened there. But it's nice to see that Bitcoin is pushing up in anticipation of CPI. And you'll notice that we've been on a general uptrend since the beginning of this year. We had a very nice uptrend, a retest of the 200, which it did maintain. And then it continued pushing. Now we're currently, as this upload's going, about to break out this $29,000 area. Now I am keeping an eye on this pattern. It did break it, but it's back in this pattern. We'll see if it respects the pattern, and if we do see a break of this ascending wedge, we may see a drop. We may see a test of at least the 50 MA, maybe a test of our previous support level here in our last consolidation right in the $26,000 area. But to me, Bitcoin continues to look good, continues to push, and the RSI just barely cooled down and it's already pushing, trying to create new highs again. Now I'll leave this article down below for you, but I wanted to bring you a couple points to this article and then we'll get into the next thing here. Now Yuya Hasegawa, interesting name, an analyst at crypto exchange BitBank, has suggested that the upcoming US CPI for March could end up being a catalyst for Bitcoin to test and potentially topple the $29,000 resistance area it has encountered in the past 3 weeks. And this remark comes in response to Bitcoin's indecisiveness following the mixed US jobs report. People are saying it's kind of a Goldilocks report, but we'll go over that in a second here. Now, as CPI approaches here, investors are going to be closely watching that to determine whether what the Fed's doing is actually, making progress. And this will give us a potential answer of, is the Fed going to continue raising rates? Does CPI come in favorable, come in, lower than expected, giving the Fed the chance to not crash the market, maybe not raise rates again? I personally think regardless of whether they raise rates one more time or not, I think, we're at the tail end of this market crash. And we may see some more pain, they may raise rates one more time. We may get some unfavorable CPI news. I mean, all these things really do rest on upcoming data. So no one really has the answer to when this horrible market's going to be over with. When is the bear market going to be done and when does the bull market start? And I'll leave this down below for you, but this goes over the jobs report that we got. And they say that March job growth was solid, but slowed enough to give the Fed a boost on the heels of its 9th straight interest rate hike. And the US job report showed just the right amount of cooling off in March, with employers adding 236,000 new positions and unemployment coming down to 3.5%. And the average of jobs added monthly is 334,000. So March definitely eased from February's 326,000 jobs and the 334,000 monthly average. Getting only 236,000, to me, that shows that things are going in the right direction that the Fed wants. And Daniel Zhao at Glassdoor said, today's report is a Goldilocks report. It's hard to find a way it could have been better. We do see that the job market is cooling, but it's still resilient. Now, as I was saying, whether or not we get another rate hike, whether or not CPI comes in, expected, comes in good, I do think we're approaching the tail end of this bad market, this correction in the market, this crash in the market. And heck, we have been in a bear market for over a year now. I will bring up the SPY and just kind of show you what I've been seeing here. And you can't be scared to invest because the market has shown throughout history that it always recovers. And if you're a long-term investor, yeah, sometimes you don't want to catch falling knives, but at the same time, sometimes you can't pass up some deals that you may not see for literally years or may not see ever again. And I did want to pull up the SPY here and just show you guys that, we hit our peak here in December of 2021, and it's been in a continued bear market, continued downtrend ever since then. And now we're coming up into April. Typically, bear markets last right around a year. We are looking at longer than a year in this bear market. So that to me gives confidence and kind of tells me that things can only go so bad for so long. The Fed may raise rates one more time, may not. CPI, in my opinion, is going to continue going down. And the Fed may even break something in the market, but regardless, stocks will recover over time. And when you see prices you haven't seen in years, Sometimes you just gotta take advantage. But I did want to show you guys that we had a death cross here on the SPY back in March of 2022, and recently the SPY has seen a golden cross in February. Now we did break this long downtrend, came back in, tested it again, and hopped back out. I think we can see CPI come in. If it's not that great, we can see the SPY test this ascending support level here that's been established on 2 points. But you know, regardless of that, you need to look no further than the SPY. I personally think the S&P 500 can give some nice gains over the coming years, especially at these prices, at these suppressed prices. Now, can things retest their lows? Of course they can. Maybe CPI comes in horrible. Maybe the Fed says that they have to raise rates even more. Maybe the housing market starts really crashing. You know, regardless of that, where we're at, and even if we do push back, it's a great opportunity to buy compared to looking at, you know, when we were so overpriced. The market always plays its cycles, gets to points where things are undervalued, gets to points where things are overvalued. Our goal as investors is to buy these things while they're undervalued and sell them when they become overvalued. And I think this is a great point for a lot of these stocks to buy while they're undervalued. Buy in these times of fear. It's not always easy, and looking back, people think it's a lot easier than it was. But those of us that had patience, those of us that showed resilience, and those of us that ran into the fire, ran into the fear while everyone else was exiting, we are the ones that are going to be paid out in the end. But let me know what you guys think about what's going on lately. How do you feel about CPI coming up? And do you think this is the catalyst that Bitcoin needs to continue to push to maybe reach 30,000? I personally think regardless of where CPI goes, Bitcoin is going to break that 30,000 very soon. And I think that time is going to approach a lot sooner than people may realize. But thanks as always for watching, guys. Appreciate your support, and I'll see you later.